Welcome to day 5 of your 7-day free Pilates program for beginners. I hope you have enjoyed it so far. Let's get straight into our 5th day. Seated in the center of the mat, I want that left foot wrapped around behind you, that right foot tucked into that left groin, lengthening those arms up towards the ceiling, interlacing them and rotating them towards the ceiling. Let's inhale, exhale, reaching towards the left hand side as you follow towards that direction with your eyes back to center, and changing over towards the right hand side and back to center. And we're just going to do 3 of these on each side as we exhale to the left, inhale center, exhale to the right, inhale center. 1 more on each side. Allow that body to stretch out. And on this last one, we're reaching over, dropping that right hand over onto the floor as we reach that left over towards the right hand side, keeping those knees on the floor and reaching around towards that opposite corner, allowing that body to stretch out. Deep breath in, exhale slowly, lifting yourself back up and rotating those palms towards the ceiling as we inhale and exhale, reaching ourselves forward, stretching and extending as far as we can go. And inhale, exhale, reaching towards that opposite left corner, keeping those glutes on the floor. Deep breath in, slowly rolling that spine back up to stack that vertebra. We're taking that left foot, tuck it into that right groin and wrapping that right foot around behind you to do that same movement, drawing those gaps down your back, lengthening that spine. And as we're doing so, I want you to really focus on that body. We're going towards the right as we inhale, exhale towards the left, back to center. Use this time to allow that body to warm up and engage in that mobility. And last one on the right before we lean over towards the left on that exhale, dropping that left hand onto that floor as we reach that right hand over and bring it across to that opposite back corner as we keep our knees on the floor. Opening those ribs and inhale, exhale, lifting yourself back up, interlacing those hands, rotating them up towards the ceiling as we reach forward, bringing those arms towards the floor and slowly walking our hands towards that right hand side. You should feel a stretch into that left groin and glute depending on where you feel most tight. Just allow that body to warm up slowly. Coming back up, we're going to turn ourselves into a seated position at the end of our mat. I want your feet to be shoulder width apart and hands facing that body. Let's inhale, and as we exhale, we're just rocking those knees from left to right, getting some mobility into those hips. And we're going to do 3 of these on each side. Inhale to center, exhale, dropping those hips. And last one on each side before we continue that movement. Coming back to center, bringing those feet slightly closer towards each other, lifting those glutes up and reaching that right hand over towards the hand behind you and slowly coming back up. As you can see, I've rotated my fingers to face the other way, reaching up and extending and slowly coming back down. And 1 more on each side, looking up and over and lifting up and extending and slowly coming back down, rotating those hands to face your body again, lifting up, bringing those knees together, and we're going to hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, looking up, not straining that neck, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and slowly dropping those hips, extending those legs, bringing hands out in front of you, palms facing each other, ankles are flexed. Let's inhale, Exhale, tucking in head, neck and chest. All the way down, reaching towards those feet as we bring chest to knees. Inhale to pause. Exhale, rolling yourself back up. Inhale, exhale, opening that left arm towards that opposite back corner. Inhale, center. Exhale, right arm to opposite back corner. Inhale, center. Deep breath in and rolling yourself down. That's our sequence. Extending, extending, extending. Inhale, exhale, rolling yourself back up, stacking that vertebra, opening that left shoulder towards that opposite back corner, following with our eyes, keeping those spines stacked and opening, and slowly back up. Deep breath in. Exhale, tucking in, reaching and lengthening, extending towards those toes, flexing those ankles, pushing those knees into the ground, rolling yourself back up. Last one, we're opening that left hand towards that opposite back corner and back to center, and opening to the other side and back to center. Deep breath in, tucking head, neck and chest all the way down, reaching forward, and we're going to stay here. We're going to inhale and exhale, stacking that vertebra and holding for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Releasing, rounding yourself up and stacking that vertebra, bringing those arms overhead, facing those palms to face the wall in front of you. Inhaling, exhaling, squeezing those scaps and bringing elbows towards each other. And you can see as I rotate those wrists to face the wall, I bring my elbows down, and as I lift, my palms start to face each other and squeeze, keeping core tight. That's 3, 4 and 5. We've got 3 more. Core tight, lengthening, sucking that belly to spine, sucking in that pelvic floor. And last one, squeezing, lifting up, dropping arms in front of you. Deep breath in. Exhale, rolling yourself down, keeping that chest where it is, extending that back and holding for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, pushing those knees into the ground. 3, 2, 1, dropping yourself down, rolling yourself up, stacking that vertebra and bringing arms up towards the ceiling and into T-point. And we're going to do 8 of these core tight. That's 2 and 3 and 4. Palms are facing the ceiling as we're working. 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. Slowly bringing your arms back to center, bending those knees. We're going to attempt our rolling like a ball. If you can recall from the previous days, let's lift and hover those knees off the floor, keeping that neck in neutral, rounding that spine as we inhale, and exhale, slowly rolling yourself down and back up. That's 1 and 2. Inhale up, exhale down. 3 and last one. 4. Slowly back up, keeping those feet hovering off the floor. We're going to extend those legs as we lower that back and tuck those knees in. So exhale, extend, inhale, tuck. Try not to brace that tummy. That's 3, 4. We're doing 8 of these, and 5, 6 and 7 and 8, and slowly hugging those knees towards your chest and lengthening that spine. Deep breath. Let's extend our knees slightly. They're still bent. We're just moving ourselves slightly away from those feet. And we are going to lift that right leg off the floor into that tabletop. And starting with the hands in front of us, we're going to inhale, exhale, toe tap as we bring arms overhead. Then back to center. We're going to do 6 of these on each side. Very slow and small movements, keeping that back straight and lifting up. That's 3 and 4 and 5. Keep going, and 6. Slowly dropping that leg down. Inhale, exhale, left leg up. Inhale, exhale, toe tap. And that's 1. And 2, keeping that core tight, keeping that back straight. 3, and 4, and 5, and 6. And if we can, before we continue, let's just hug those knees towards that chest, rounding that spine away and pushing yourself away from those knees and slowly forward and back up and stacking that vertebra. Let's do one more of those. I'm going to challenge ourselves today. We are going to lift both legs off the floor, bringing arms out in front of you, and we are going to toe tap and bring arms overhead. That's 1. Keeping that back straight. And 2, we're just doing 6 of these, so work hard. And 3, keeping core tight. 4, and 5, and 6, and holding for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and slowly opening those knees as we bring ourselves forward, bringing chest towards the floor and holding. Deep breath in, rounding and rolling yourself all the way back up, bringing arms back up, reaching forward, extending towards that floor in front of you, and slowly rolling yourself back up, bringing those knees back towards each other. We are going to extend our arms as we take a deep breath in and exhale. Slowly roll yourself all the way down into lying position in the center of that mat. Very nice, everyone. Let's bring our arms into a T position, knees and ankles together, and we're just going to rock our knees from side to side. Allow that mobility in that back. Remember the importance of maintaining that good activation, maintaining the integrity of that activation to make sure that your back and pelvis aren't compromised when doing the movement. So very slow, deep breaths with controlled movements. We are going to lift that right leg into tabletop and then that left leg. I want you to keep your arms in that T position, palms facing the ceiling, and we are going to extend both legs up towards the ceiling, keeping those toes pointed, and we're going to inhale, exhale, dropping both legs down and outwards, slowly rotating towards the wall below you, and then back to center. That's the movement. Try keep the circles very small because you are working against gravity as well as against that long lever of your legs, so you want to be able to maintain good activation of that core. That's 3. We're doing 8 of these, and 4, keeping that core tight, and 5, and 6, and 7, and 8, and coming back to center, dropping those knees and hugging them towards your chest, and holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, dropping those legs down. We are going to lift, interlace our hands behind our head, lifting head, neck and chest off the floor, and we're going to do the same thing with our arms. Palms are facing each other in front of us, bringing arms overhead and circulating our arms around, and that's 1. If you want more of a challenge, you can do this with your legs in tabletop position, but I would strongly recommend that you just focus on that quality activation of that core, making sure that pelvis is in that horizontal position. That's 3. Exhale, rounding. 4. And 5. We've got 3 more. And 6. And 7. And 8. And slowly bringing arms overhead and interlacing your hands behind your head to slowly roll yourself back down. We're going to lift those legs back into tabletop position, drawing that belly towards your spine, extending those legs up towards the ceiling and arms in that T position. This time we are slowly going to drop our legs towards that left hand side with a slight rotation down and around and back to center. Again, it's a very small movement. The focus and the key is to maintain that stability as you're working. We're going to do 4 towards the left. Exhale, rotating around and back to center. Inhale, dropping. We've got 1 more of these. I want you to really focus on keeping that pelvis on the floor as we're working. Back to center. Inhale, dropping towards that right hand side and changing around, then back to center. That's 1. Keeping core tight. You should be getting a nice deep activation into those core muscles. Very small and slow and controlled movement. And last 1, coming back to center, dropping right leg down, then left leg down, feet slightly larger than shoulder width apart, and just dropping those knees from side to side, allowing a moving active recovery before we progress onto that next movement, bringing those feet back into center. Let's bring our knees back into tabletop position, right leg up, left leg up. Let's interlace our hands comfortably behind our head. Let's inhale, exhale, lifting head, neck and chest off the ground. Inhale to pause, exhale to lower. That's 1. And you're not going all the way down, and I want you to make sure that you're not resting as you're going down. You're sucking that belly to spine, and you are keeping that control. Inhale, pause, exhale, down. Let's do 3 more. Inhale, pause, exhale, up. Inhale, pause, exhale, down. And 2 more, and up. Inhale, pause, exhale, down. Really focusing on drawing that belly to spine. Exhale, up. And we're going to hold in this position. Deep breath in. Exhale, toe tap. Inhale, up. That's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. Legs in tabletop, slowly lowering head, neck and chest off the floor. Arms in that T position, rocking your knees from side to side as you maintain that angle of your hips and knees, just allowing that recovery, enjoying and embracing it as we rock from side to side. Coming back up and back to center, dropping your legs back onto the floor. Let's bring our feet about a foot away from those glutes, lifting those heels off the floor. Let's inhale, exhale, rounding that pelvis, lifting up towards the ceiling, squeezing those glutes. Inhale to pause. Exhale, slowly rolling down. You can see that my heels are staying off the floor. Let's do 5 of these. That's 1. Slowly rolling up, keeping core tight. And inhale to pause. Exhale, slowly rolling down. That's 2 and 3. Slow and controlled. And 4. And last 1. We're staying in the air, squeezing those glutes, knees together. We are inhaling. Exhale, lowering those heels, then back up towards the ceiling. That's 1. Keeping that hip height. And 2 and 3 and 4. Slow and controlled. And 5. Lifting those glutes up. Now we're doing little pulsations, keeping those heels off the floor. And up for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keeping those hips where they are, keeping those heels where they are, knees away from each other, then back to center. That's 1. And as we're dropping, we're lowering those hands to T-point. That's 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. And back to center, dropping those heels and lifting right leg into tabletop and extending that leg up towards the ceiling and holding for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's keep pushing. Last little bit, dropping that right leg down, lifting left leg up, extending it up towards the ceiling and holding for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Dropping that leg down, dropping that foot, lifting those hips to slowly lower those glutes back onto the floor, bringing those hands behind that right knee, extending that knee up towards the ceiling, extending that left leg towards the floor. We're going to pulse that knee towards that chest for 2 pulses as we anchor with that opposite leg, and then changing over and just allowing a stretch in that hamstring. If you struggle to do this motion, then just keep that knee slightly bent, as long as you're getting a stretch in that hamstring and a slight activation into those abdominals. And one more on each side, and bringing both legs up, hugging those knees to chest. Deep breath in, exhale, rolling yourself back up into a seated position. I want you to turn over onto that left hand side and lying comfortably on the floor. I want that lower leg bent out in front of you in a 90-degree angle. That upper leg in line with those hips and shoulders and is extended. Upper hand is resting on that floor in front of you, and we are going to inhale, and on that exhale we're just slowly lowering that leg to the floor and then back up. That's 1. And if you want more of a challenge, you can extend that upper arm up towards the ceiling. That's 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8, and holding for into our little pulsations for 10, 9, you should be feeling it into this glute over here, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and extending that lower leg, keeping that hand and leg on the floor. We're going to turn over onto our tummies and slowly dropping both limbs. We're going to lift our right arm and left leg off the floor, and we're going to hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Dropping those limbs to lift the opposite limbs, neck in neutral, and holding for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And slowly down, lifting both legs and arms off the floor, core tight for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and slowly coming down, turning back over onto that left hand side and resting your head on that lower arm. Again, we have that lower leg bent out in front of you. This upper leg is now going to be in line with that other knee, other hand up towards the ceiling. We're inhaling, exhaling, toe tapping, and back up. That's 1 and 2, core tight. We are just changing the angle of the activation of the muscle. That's 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 into our little pulsations for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and slowly coming down, turning over onto our backs, placing that right ankle on that left knee and hugging that knee towards your chest for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're extending our legs onto the mat, bringing arms overhead, inhaling, bringing arms to the sides, lifting head, neck and chest off the floor, and exhale, rolling yourself up and over and reaching towards those toes, and slowly coming back up to turn over onto that right hand side. Let's rest that head on that lower arm, bending that lower knee, placing that top hand on the floor in front of you, and I want that other leg extended and in line with your hips and shoulders. Let's inhale and exhale, toe tap and back up, stabilizing that pelvis and making sure that you are keeping that control of that body as you lift and lower. And we're halfway. And again, if you want more of a challenge, you can lift that arm up towards the ceiling. Let's do 2 more before we do our pulsations. And lifting up, ankle flexed, and 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keeping limbs in the air and turning over onto your tummy, dropping both limbs, lifting left hand and right leg up off the floor for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Dropping left arm and right leg to lift opposite limbs and holding for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Dropping those limbs to lift both legs and both arms for 10, 9, 8. Knees together. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly coming back down and turning over, resting your head on that lower arm, back into that initial position, lower leg bent in front of you in a 90-degree angle, and aligning those knees together. Other hand up in that T position. Inhale, exhale, toe tap. That's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. Into that 10-second pulsation for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly bending that knee, dropping it down, turning over onto your back to place that left ankle on that right knee and hugging that right knee to chest for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And extending and bringing that leg onto the floor as we extend that foot up towards the ceiling. And I want you to point those toes towards the ceiling as you draw that knee towards your chest for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bending that knee, dropping it across midline, leaning it right across onto the floor as we open and extend that right hand and look towards the direction of that right hand, and holding for another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly coming back up, lifting that left leg up towards the ceiling, and I want you to point those toes towards the ceiling as you draw that knee towards your chest for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bending that leg, dropping it across the midline and leaning onto that floor as you look into the direction of your straight left arm and holding for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lifting that leg back up, dropping it onto the floor, bringing arms overhead, inhaling as we lift head, neck and chest off the floor and bring arms to side. Exhale, slowly rolling yourself all the way up into seated position and reaching forward, keeping the roundness of that spine. Toes are pointed away from you. And deep breath in, exhale, reach a little further, and inhale, exhale, slowly rolling yourself back up. Thanks again for your commitment and dedication to your body and for joining me on the mat today. If you enjoyed that video, hit that like button. And again, if you want more exclusive content, you can click on the link in the description below. Looking forward to seeing you in the next video.